turned it off one night, everything was running fine. Came out the next morning to start it, nada. Wouldn't even like act like it was trying to fire at all. And just tiny bits of little smoke, white smoke, would come out of the exhaust here and there. But this little clacker pump, it's like an old school carburetor clacker pump, wasn't clacking. I thought, oh, maybe it's just an easy pump. And you'll notice new green pump, Amazon special, that came in, and slapped that on there, and nearly identical results. No, like, it was pressurizing to the inlet of the injection pump, but no smoke. So I thought, well, maybe it got some air in the lines. So I cracked the injector lines and bled those. Sometimes they'd squirt, sometimes not, which led me to think something wrong. So doing a little Googling last night, because I don't know by the looks of things what they are most of the time, actually. And folks were saying that this is essentially a VE pump off of a 12 valve Cummins, like a Bosch VE rotary style pump. Like even to the point of having the little electric fuel shutoff there. And that was one of the things that came up as a potential issue, that those go out fairly often. The other was the fuel return that's way back there that I'll never be able to show you. But anyway, the fuel return not letting enough little lift pump put enough fuel in the VE pump to make high pressure. But to me, for the way it was acting, the fuel shutoff seemed the most likely. So I'll come over here and show you. That's the guts of the fuel pump. Excuse me, that's the guts of the shutoff solenoid. This little guy sits inside that coil that I just pointed at, and little spring of the thing holds him down, seated, so it turns off. Electric coil kicks on and it pulls it up. Well, when I pulled that out, I had to grab this. You can kind of see my scuff marks. That's probably not them, but anyway, I had to grab it with pliers to pull it out, because this little rubber tip was stuck in wherever it sticks to turn fuel off so bad. So I don't know how that was even letting any fuel by, because I think it wasn't lifting up at all. So anyway, pulled that out of the fuel shutoff solenoid, and it fired in about two cranks, two turnovers. Anyway, turned over twice and fired. Hang on, I see smoke. So, diesel coming off of the muffler. So now, luckily, good old VE pump has manual fuel shut off there. So come pull that little lever back and it turns right off. We'll decide whether I want to buy a new shut off solenoid from Mahindra. They're like 300 bucks. I can't imagine it actually being any different than the Cummins VE one, and I would assume they're pretty cheap because those are everywhere. But equally, I kind of like the idea of less electronics, and old school tractors always had the fuel shutoff cable that you pull and it turns them off, so I wouldn't mind that at all. We'll see what Brandy thinks. It is, I suppose, nice to turn the key off and the tractor shuts off, but so in video with it running, I was thinking it could be a anti-theft device, except it's inverse. It's the keeps it running device. But if I made it to where cable pulls and locks that on and make the cable not obvious, then yeah, it'd never start unless you push the cable in, which means I'd have to remember to push the cable in to start it. So we'll see. But anyway, that was 2 nights of worrying about the little red tractor and why it wasn't running, all solved. So that's pretty exciting. Walking back in from working on the little red tractor, the camera does show it. So with my headlamp on, very dimly on, you almost can't see the ground. The fog's so thick and crystally. Yeah, love the inversion in fog.